Now that we're midway through the NBA season, I've been dying to make this video. Here are my top 3 role guys in the NBA. These are the guys who kind of get some spotlight here and there, but they are not talked about nearly enough. First up is Josh Hart. I love watching Josh Hart play because he plays every game like it's his last. He's one of those guys that coaches probably put up on the board in high school games or whatever. It was like, this guy's always hustling, he plays hard. That's Josh Hart. He's not the most skilled, not the most athletic, not the fastest, but he is the guy that's going to play his heart out. And I think every team needs a dog like this. The guy who can't hit every shot. He's not going to make it. He's not perfect from the free throw line. He's not even the highest IQ player, but he plays his hardest, man. And I think that's super respectable, because he's not playing like some of these guys in the league. I'll be honest, they play like I got paid, I got my money, so I'm chilling now. He doesn't play like that. He plays like, man, if I don't get this next rebound, I'm not going to get paid. But that's how he plays every game. And I think Josh Hart is in a perfect situation too. Because playing next to a guy like Brunson, who's not the best defender, who doesn't always play the hardest, who will take some time off on defense, you need Josh Hart right next to Brunson, where he can just shine in his role as a defender, hustle guy, and Brunson can be the scorer, right? That's a perfect matchup. I also think it helps because Cat is not the most aggressive big man, right? Like when I watched him play the Lakers recently, Cat can get really passive, right? Where he's not really trying all that hard. And sometimes he gets shut out of games. Not like he won't score, but it just seems like mentally he's not as checked in. And then you got somebody like Josh Hart, who, when you're 7 footer and Cat isn't out there rebounding and playing hard, somehow, some way, Josh Hart just flies past everybody and gets that rebound that keeps him in the game. He's the guy that'll get a random steal in the game, and you're like, man, how does he keep doing this? He just is perfect in that glue guy space, and I think New York is a perfect place for him. My only thing with him, where I wish he would improve, is just having a bit more of a consistent jump shot. And I know we say this for pretty much every player, but I think for some guys like him that are really like strong defenders, if you were to add even like a little bank shot or whatever, a nice little midi, that could be so much more threatening. Because sometimes you see him get the pass from Cat or from Brunson or Bridges, and he's at the free throw line by himself, and sometimes he'll pause instead of just immediately shooting that like I know I got it. He'll pause and look around. Can I pass to somebody? You need him to just take that shot. Boom, I know I got that. You know what I'm saying? That will make him 10 times more terrifying as a player, right? And I mean, his contract is perfect as well. He's making 20 million a year for the next few years. That's perfect. Like the Knicks can ask for a more perfect guy to have right next to Brunson. I think what the Knicks need now is a little more depth. If they can add a couple more pieces on the bench that can come in and be consistent, like even a better defensive big man next to Cat, because every time I look on ESPN, I see Precious Achua. I think that's his first name. He's getting cooked. Like I saw him get hit with in and out, and then get dunked on, and then he got dunked on again. Like he's getting cooked a lot, man. Like no disrespect to you, but you need a little more help down there. And Josh, as hard as he plays, sometimes when he gets switched on to that big man, he can't defend them. He can't do nothing with that. And I'm just thinking ahead to the playoffs if they're playing the Cavs and he's on Evan Mobley or Jared Allen, he's gonna get fried. And Cat can't play offense against them, and then be expected to defend them as well. It's just too much. So they need a few more pieces in New York, but I think they're in a perfect spot to be like a real contender next season because of a guy like Josh Hart. Another role player that I love to watch play is Christian Braun. And I will say this before I even get started. I think Braun plays well in this role because he's playing next to Jokic. Like, I don't think he would be killing it like he is if he wasn't playing with Jokic. Let me just say that. But I think playing with a guy that's that good, he benefits, right? He's at the top of the league in transition, right? And that happens because when Jokic gets the ball, he's a smarter player. So his first thought is, who is up court where I can just throw it as far as I can? Right? And like he's looking for that every single time. Like some big men do it sometimes. Every time he gets the rebound, he's looking to pass it up court. And I think that's perfect for a guy like Christian Braun. Because he's out there running the he's out there running the wing, he's running the floor, he's gonna dunk on you, right? He can shoot a little bit too. Like he's playing really well in his role. For him to only be making around 3-4 million a year, he's absolutely killing it with that contract. Like they got a lot more out of him than really they're paying for. And I think it's perfect too because sometimes when Jamal Murray is just not in his right mind, he's not playing well. He just had 50 the other night. But when he's not playing well, you can count on Christian Braun to try to pick up that slack. Like he's another one of those guys that plays super, super hard. My issue with him is sometimes on defense, he gambles a little too much. He's a little too aggressive going for the steal. Like he's one of those guys that can commit a stupid foul. Like I know if you're a Nuggets fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's one of those things that I would take, right? If I'm a coach, I'm not mad at that. If you're going to get a foul because you're doing too much, sometimes it's okay because that means you can still get the bucket sometimes because you're playing hard defense. Sometimes you get the foul. It's a gamble, win or lose. I like that. And I think the biggest thing with him is he's just found a way to fit into that role with Denver. He's not trying to do too much or be extra. He knows they have shooters in MPJ and Jokic, and they got rebounders and stuff, and he's just fitting in his spot, and he's not trying to do more than that. It's really hard to get young guys to accept that, right? Most of them don't want to, but he kind of figured out like I can be in this league for 10 more years, 15 years if I just play my role forever. I'm looking forward to the playoffs to see how he performs because one thing that teams are able to do against the Nuggets is focus on shutting down Jokic and then Jamal Murray. And after that, force all the other guys to have to make shots. Aaron Gordon, Christian Braun, they're younger guys. Are they going to be able to make those big shots in the playoffs? Like when the game slows down and you're not killing it in transition, are you going to be able to show up and make those big shots? Can you make the right rotations on defense? I don't know. I'm looking forward to see if he can. I just don't know because it's not as consistent as I would like to be just yet. Another amazing role player that's been killing it recently, Rui Hachimura. I think in the beginning, Rui was playing really, really bad defensively. Like he's been shooting well all year. The biggest issue with him is defense. It's just not being in the right spot. There was one play, I'm gonna try to find the clip, and he's like running in circles on defense from one man to the next man to the next man, and then they score. And LeBron just looking at him like, "What are you doing?" And that is a testament to bad defense because he's not aware of where he's supposed to be on the floor, right? If you're playing good defense, the first thing in good defense is positioning, being in the right position where you see a man in the ball, little tricks like when you have your hand out to defend the pass, you have your hand down. So if the ball hits your hand right here, you can just boom and control it. Whereas if you have your hand this way, the ball hits the back of your hand, it's harder to get control of that, right? Like little small stuff like that. Rui, I don't know if he'll ever be good at that, but he's gotten better at just being in the right position, right? On offense, I think he'll always be fine because he can shoot the mid range, he can go to the post. He's really good at three, shooting around like 40%. He's doing well. He's scoring over 20 points a game his last 5, 6 games. He's killing it. And obviously, playing with LeBron and Luka, he's only going to get more open shots. So the big thing with him is just being in the right position on defense and rebounding. It's so frustrating looking at guys that are like Jeremy Grant, like in Portland. Guys like that should be getting at minimum 6 rebounds a game. At minimum. Every game you're out there, you should get at least 6 boards. That's less than 2 a quarter. Like you gotta be able to do that if you're 6'9", bro. Like it's some of the rebounds will just fall to you just being in the right spot. Again, positioning. But sometimes with Rui, he's in a wrong spot so much that he can't get that rebound. And then the offense will get it, or the little tip in will go to them, or they get it and then they kick it out and get a three. And then the defense is like, come on, man. We play good defense the whole shot clock. They get an offensive board in the big three, swing of momentum. So if Rui can fix that, man, he'll be incredible in the playoffs. Like that would take his game to a whole nother level, right? His contract, again, is another one of those great contracts for what you get. It's perfect. Just fixing those little small things, he could add a lot more to the Lakers as a team. So those are my personal 3 favorite role players in the league this year so far. I want you to let me know who your favorite role players are down in the comments below. Let me know.